All right. Welcome back to another episode. I think we are on episode 15, 1-5. I bet that's someone's lucky number, maybe not my lucky number. Uh, and today we are back with another special guest. We have Ellie here. Ellie, give yourself a little introduction.
My name is Ellie, car enthusiast. What can I say about myself? Not much I can say about myself. I don't know. Car enthusiast, love cars, and glad to be here
Big
today.
GDM guy. Big GDM
big
guy.
JDM guy. Big JDM guy for sure.
Sorry, a little interlude here. Let's keep that mic a little closer.
Right there, perfect.
Right there.
Sounds
Perfect. A little closer. There we go. Where were we? Big GDM guy.
Yes, definitely big JDM guy. Yeah.
More GDMs than Euros or anything else.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I love I like muscles. Muscle cars are nice, GTOs, Chevelles, but I mean, I've always been a JDM guy for sure. It's something about it just speaks to me, I guess, and
It resonates within your heart
it,
and
it
your mind.
definitely resonates with me. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So today's topic, we're actually going to go and dive into the car world, but in a different perspective than we haven't done before. I have Ellie here today. He is actually a part of, or one of the main organizers of a charity, MS Road to a Cure.
Yep, that's right.
And he is a big car enthusiast and supporter of the car scene. So we're going to talk about how his passions, his hobbies, and how the charity got all involved in order to basically create MS Road for a Cure.
Awesome. So
Where do we start is the main question
that's
here.
the problem. Where do we start? There's so much to say.
So maybe we'll start off like with your car enthusiast background and kind of go from there.
Sure. Yep. I got into cars when I was probably 11, 12, I'd say. My dad owned a couple of used car dealerships when I was a kid, and I mean, he always stocked up on Civics, Del Sols, and Preludes and whatever else. He had some Supras there before. He had Eclipses. I remember seeing those, and just as time went on, I kind of grew a love for them, I guess. I'd come in on weekends and detail cars for him. And yeah, I just slowly just got into cars that way, which was a lot of fun. One thing, I don't think I ever told my dad this, but I remember when I was older, when I was like 15, 16, he used to go to the used car auctions in the morning
Mm-hmm.
and on weekends or on Friday and Saturday. And what I would do once he left is I would close up shop. I'd take out one of his cars and I'd go for a test drive with him. That's how I learned. That's how I learned how to drive manual. I taught myself how to drive manual up and down the streets. I'm sure somebody bought one of those cars and wasn't too happy with the state of the transmission after I was done with it. But yeah, no, fun times, man. It's they've always resonated with me for sure. JDM cars are just something special.
They stole a place in your heart, and that's where it went.
Absolutely.
And I guess that'll take us to the next topic. I guess we can allude to your actual love of your life, your wife,
Yes.
and the whole
Yes.
charity aspect of it too, right? How
Yep.
that kind of got involved. A nice little segue connection there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with my wife for what feels like eons. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at the age of 24, I'd say. Once they diagnosed her, and they kind of she had problems before then, so they figured she's probably had it since she was 17, but actually got diagnosed at 25, and her state, I guess, got worse and worse as time went on. And I've been in the car scene since I was 16, right? So me and her used to go to all the meets and the races and all that stuff. It got to a point where we stopped going. It was just a little too hard at times to go. And eventually she convinced me to get back into the car scene, and she got in with me. And then she had an idea of, hey, why not combine the two together? We did a lot of charity work before I came back to the car scene with MS charities. We figured, why not bring both types of people into something positive, like make something positive out of two groups of people into one. and that's what we did. So we started MS Road to a Cure, which we started back in 2016, I believe. And since then, we've just been doing some stuff. My wife has been contributing to the charity that we currently work with now, which is My MS Family. It's a charity that, what I love about them is that they're all volunteers. They don't take any kind of money. They don't take any kind of income for themselves. So anything donated to that charity goes directly to people that need it, which is amazing. We used to deal with the bigger MS charity, which unfortunately didn't work out the way we wanted it to. But we're all happier for it now, and it's nice to be able to bring both aspects of my life into one, and my wife enjoys it as well. And we've raised a lot of money the last 7 years or so, and we're very glad to be doing what we do. And I mean, like I can't see it. I can't see it go any better than what we have going now, I guess. So we're really proud of what we created, and hopefully we can keep going for as long as we can. So.
No, that's very cool. And like maybe we can dive deeper into that topic. Like you said, you were part of other charities before, and it sounds like you've had some issues with some other charities in that case, right?
Yes. So we dealt with MS Society of Canada is who we mainly dealt with before. There was no support. I mean, like they loved that we brought them money. Like I'm gonna be just completely frank with everybody. They loved that we brought money, but they didn't want to put their time into what we like our vision, I guess, for what we wanted to create. And on top of that, we started finding out how much money actually goes to the people behind the scenes, and it hit us pretty hard. The fact that we worked so hard to raise, like our first show, we raised I think $4,000. We had a car show in 2016, and 80% of it, we found out more or less, went to where it wasn't supposed to go, and that really upset us. We did a couple more years, and then it's funny. The guy that actually owns My MS Family now used to work for MS Society of Canada, so he left and created his own charity. Reached out to us, and he's always been a big supporter of what we did, and told us about his charity that he's opening up and starting, and he wanted to come on board with us to continue doing what we were doing. So, it was rough at times, but with the charity we're with now, we're happy. We couldn't be happier, honestly, and everybody helps out there. You even have like the majority of the people that volunteer at that charity actually do have MS themselves. So they definitely know what it feels like and what it is, and that goes a long way, more than somebody in a suit behind a desk kind of trying to tell you what to do and what not to do. So,
yeah. And actually, on that topic of people that are actually diagnosed with MS and have MS, the way that me and Ellie met was he was looking to do a booth at Driven Toronto. This is back in my account management days for Driven. And he reached out. He's like, what can we do? Like, we'd love to do a booth, blah, blah, blah. And I actually told him that one of the main account manager, the one that oversees the operations, Keith, he himself has MS as well, right?
Yep.
So when I'm like, hey, Keith, let's put together something for them, blah, blah, blah. And we basically did as cheap as we could. And we're like, we'd love to see you at the show. And we had you guys out. And I think that was your first Driven show. And what an experience that was. We can kind of get into the first time you were at our show, but you've done so many shows ahead of that, and they've gone so smoothly. And then at our show, not at the actual show. You know what? Maybe describe your experience at the first time you were at Driven show. How was it? And
actually, my first Driven show that I ever registered at Car 2 was back in 2018 or 2019.
Don Mills or Congress?
Mississauga. It was Saga. It was the Square One. It's still Square One.
First time in Square One, so that was 2021.
21. Okay, so 21. There you go. So 21, and I registered my 91 Honda Prelude for the show. Before then, I've been driven a couple times.
As a spectator.
Yep, yeah. Absolutely, as a spectator. I remember. I think I remember the first time I came out to a Driven show. I want to say it was Don Mills. I believe
Very likely that was the first year of the show in 2018.
Yes, so that would be it. I remember I was on the rooftop,
Correct.
and I remember that Akira was there.
Correct.
That's right. So that was the first show. So so I was there. I didn't have a car registered, but I did have a car I was working on that I wanted to bring to the show. It just wasn't ready in time, and I couldn't bring it. But I loved it, man. That rooftop area that you guys had, it was 2 floors. It was bottom and top. It had a ramp, so yeah, bottom and top, and it was nice. It was really nice. Right in the middle of a mall where everybody is and shopping and stuff, which is awesome. A lot of big crowd. It was exciting, man. It was Fast and Furious for sure. It was like straight JDM vibes, and it was such a nice show. And I really hated the fact that I couldn't bring a car out there. I actually remember going to Nakai and showing him a picture of my Honda Prelude that I was building at the time. I was creating a wide body out of clay to get the mold going and stuff like that. So I showed him some pictures and stuff. And I mean, like, I don't know if he actually cared or not, but I mean, he seemed like genuinely, not impressed, but like
Like he was like,
yeah, like, right, kind of thing. And he's looking, he's like, oh, good.
yeah.
So that was really cool. And that was my first time meeting him there. And yes, that was the first show. Yeah, so that was the first time I was there. And then 21, I think, is when I registered my Prelude to bring to the show as well. So that was definitely fun. It was a lot of fun, man. It's felt really good to be there.
No, it's a very, very different caliber of show, and you went from being spectator to competitor to having a booth at the show in 2023.
Yep. Yeah.
So big step up there. You were able to hopefully attract some more awareness to the cause.
Yep.
It was oh my God, that show was so busy.
It was really busy.
Extremely busy.
Yep. Yeah.
With the the mall there and this there and the foot traffic and even the amount of people that were just walking by saying, what the heck is going on here, right? Like, I can't park here, what the heck?
Yeah.
And came in, saw the show, had a good time.
I remember the lineup. So on the roof of Square One, there's an entrance into the mall from the outside. You can go from the inside like a tunnel. Yeah. And I remember one time going through there to go to the food court to get some food. The lineup of people in that tunnel to pay to come outside to the car show was insane. The lineup was massive.
It was. I think that was one of the most organized lines we had because people went like from the front of the line, everyone just kind of went along the border of the parkade at the top all the way through and into the mall, right?
Yeah.
No one did like a whole scramble, a thing like that. People were actually, that was like one of the most polite lines I think I've seen, right?
Yep.
But it was a very long line. And it attracted a lot of people, which was great. It attracted, hopefully, you guys had some merch for sale, some other stuff, right? If I'm not wrong.
We had shirts, we had some hats, tank tops, we had as well, and then so the biggest way that I am able to provide for the charity and kind of raise money for the charity is selling Hot Wheels. I've been collecting Hot Wheels since I was like 10. I mean, I've sold a lot since, so my collection's a lot smaller than it used to be. But I mean, at one point when I thought of integrating Hot Wheels into our MS booth, I had probably like 15 full bins of Hot Wheels and a lot of old ones and stuff and a lot of JDM stuff. So that sold pretty quick. And through that, we were able to use those funds, A, to buy more Hot Wheels to sell, 2, to get merch done for us, to help us with our shows. So our show is at the Bloomington GO Station in Richmond Hill. It is not a cheap venue.
No,
by
definitely
any
not.
means. So MS Road to a Cure is literally just me and my wife. Then you have the My MS Family, which is the charity. They're about 15 deep or so. But as far as planning the show itself, it's me and my wife, right? So I do the flyer. I do the marketing for it. She reaches out to sponsors to get raffles. I reach out to sponsors to get raffles and support, donations. So, I mean, I'm sure you know what it's like putting on a show like Driven.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And for 2 people, like, I'm surprised we've lasted this long, to be honest, because and then plus, I run a full-time business as well. So like to do that and then to, deal with the invoicing and customers on my end, but then have to go to the charity side of it and then do the charity thing and the car show thing. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Like, I'm surprised I haven't given up. I mean, I say I haven't pulled my hair out, but I don't have any hair. So, I mean,
No, you've already pulled it out.
I've already
That's
pulled
why.
it all
That's
out.
what
you know.
happened. He plucked out the last few hairs right before he came. He said, "Now I'm silky smooth."
Yep, absolutely.
No, that's incredible, and yeah, it's a lot of effort and work, and just like you said, right? When you're doing it for charity, you're doing it for a cause, right? So you're donating your time as well.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it for your business, sometimes you got to go that extra mile, right? For a customer to clear an invoice to that, and you see the results. But from the charity side, it's like you do the same. And it's like you're doing it just for a good cause. You're not doing it to reap benefits for yourself, but you're doing it to reap the benefits for someone else, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So you really have to be a humble and diligent person to be able to, do both, because you see both sides of things, right? You can see, hey, I can make a few extra bucks here, or hey, how many more people can I help out here as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So two-sided perspective there, and it's very important to kind of keep those two, sides divided as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is definitely another difficulty within the space. But yeah, no, I sadly haven't been out to your show. I think last year it didn't coincide with the date I was in the country. What date is it this year?
So this year it's August 31st.
August 31st. So I am in the country this year.
It'll be Saturday. The show itself runs from 11 to 5. The last couple of years have actually run, so it's always 11 to 5, but last year we ran till 6:30. We had some other stuff going on, and then the trophies, and like, not to blow my own horn here, but our show, I have to say, is probably the show most known for the biggest giveaways. Our raffles and our giveaways last about an hour and a half. And then that's no joke. Like last year, I mean, we had people like Canadian Tire, Princess Auto. They donated like three 6-ton jacks. I don't know if you've ever seen a 6-ton jack, but it's massive. Big boys. And there's 3 of them. Canadian Tire. We've had RBC. We've had Coca-Cola, NOS. Oh God, like I'm trying to remember all the people that we've ever had. But I mean, we've had so many people donate stuff that we can give off as giveaways or raffles. And I mean, like every time we do a raffle, like we give away our raffles or the giveaways, we're about an hour deep, right? So like it's just never ending. It never stops. I mean, it's so much so that people they're like, okay, so when are the trophies coming? Because like, is this like we want the trophies? Like, what's happening here? So this year won't be any different. I mean, with Alex's help, we were able to acquire a really, really cool, what I would like to call the centerpiece of our raffle giveaway this year. It's a 1 in 18 scale Porsche signed by Akira-san, Nakai, right on the hood, and it's orange, which is the color of our MS charity. I think it suits it so well, and when the time comes for me to make the post on our social media, I can't wait to put that up to show people. I'm really proud of that piece. And I hope you guys are excited when you see it, and hopefully buy some raffle tickets to hopefully win it. I mean, it looked great on anybody's table, to be honest. So thank you for that, because that was awesome. That was very awesome.
Not a problem. And it was actually funny because the way you messaged me, so Ali messaged me and he's like, hey, do you think like when he's going to be at Driven, there's going to be like a long line? Can you do something? And I was like, honestly, I can't do anything about the line, but I can get you that stuff signed today. And he's like, what? All right, I'm on my way. Yeah, so Nakai was here for some private builds. Yep. And I was able to sneak some things in to get signed since I was at those private builds. And I think you saw at the Driven show, the line was...
Oh, my God. Jeez.
So just to, give a little bit more information on that, there was a long line for the RWB booth. Mm-hmm. And then after the RWB booth, there was a long line to see Nakai. And at the RWB booth, there were skateboards, other things like that. And what ended up happening was like they sold the skateboards and people waited in line. And one guy did not want to wait in both the lines. So when someone got their board signed, he's like, I'll give you $500 for that board, like signed on the spot. And the guy's like, I'll do it for $8. And the dude just pulled out 3 more $100 bills, gave it to him, and he just left. And he's like, honestly, I got to enjoy the show. Didn't have to wait in line. And I would have bought this on eBay, sight unseen. Here I saw it was signed by Nakai, done and done and clear.
Authentic, yeah.
And I'm on my way home, and it's only 4 o'clock, right?
Wow,
And
that's crazy.
And honestly, it kind of made sense because if you think about it, that other guy from the beginning of the show stood in line, went to another line, got something signed by Nakai, and he still had an opportunity to go back in line again and do the same thing. And he pocketed like what? Like that's like
a lot of money,
quite a bit of money. That was like $650 he pocketed, right? So I'll just off like not to exploit Nakai or anything, but someone was being smart and someone wanted some extra pocket change. So
listen, when you're a fan, you're a fan, and if you have the money to pay for it, I mean, by all means. But that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think it just worked out because it was the exact board the guy wanted. It was signed by Nakai. Okay. It was, I think, one of the pink ones that was also like sold out already, something like that. And yeah, but even people going up to Nakai to sign some things. I don't know if you saw now in Driven Edmonton, what we're doing is only official RWB merch is being signed. Like RWB items are getting priority. Okay. Because people were coming like with their hats off their head or like sign my arm or stuff like that.
Funny you say that because I had a friend with me at Driven.
Yeah.
And he wanted to take the shirt off his back and like, yo, can you go get the sign for me, please? Like, please. And I'm like, dude, he's not gonna sign the shirt off your back. Like, stop.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, that makes sense. Listen, I mean, I would never expect Akira to sign anything that's not official merchandise.
So in Halifax, we had some guy go pull off his carbon fiber fender, take it to Nakai.
I mean, that's
Nakai to sign it.
That's
but
different.
it was like off a BRZ FRS, right? So it's like, dude, it's not an RWB item. It's like, it was just awkward. Like, we saw him like walking around with a fender and we're like, what the heck is this guy doing? And then we see him in line standing to get it signed and we're like, wow, oh my God. Like, kudos to you for doing that. But like, on a fender for an FRS is just a little odd. Like, I understand interior pieces, right? Yes. There's a lot of people that take off their dash trim, get that signed, or get Nakai inside the car and sign, or something like that. A steering wheel, I get, right? You bring a steering wheel, you see it, you get it PPF'd, or if you ask them to do with a little bit of paint. But a fender, it's like, what, you're going to PPF the fender on your FRS, and then someone's going to be like, oh, why did Nakai sign this? And crap like that, right? Like, if it's a Porsche, if it's RWB stuff, different story. But I find it funny. Like, I remember guys like, dude, do you think if I took off my WRX fender, he'll sign it? It's like, what does WRX have to do with RWB, bro? It's like the furthest thing, right? Like, okay, you know what? I'll take one thing back. The FRS BRZ thing. Yeah. It is people call those cars the poor man's Porsche. So at least, you know, it's somewhat related. You know?
Okay. Sure. Sure.
That's one way you
make a lot of people mad with that one.
But man, it's true. It's true. Like a lot of like even magazines put it that way, right?
Poor man's Porsche.
Poor man's, because it was a rear drive sports car, great handling, great weight distribution, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That was the kind of whole idea of it, right? Although it was a front engine, so it was kind of like similar to how the 944s or 928s were, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
But true. Back to like getting things signed, yeah, they're gonna move to just getting official stuff signed, which just makes sense because like, think about it, you go stand in a line to finally buy authentic RWB merch, you want to go get it signed, and then, you know, you don't get your opportunity because someone's like, oh, sign my like Mopar hat or my Nike t-shirt, right? It's like, okay, come on, man. And you know, at the end of the day, like, it's not necessarily about money, because sure, Nakai would love to see, like, you know, he gets royalties from like RWB stuff, but yeah, he wants to be signing his own stuff, of right? Course, absolutely. Like you wouldn't take a Liberty Walk kit and be like, yo, Nakai, sign this. It's like, no, that is not the same person.
I didn't
right?
build that. Yeah, that's not mine.
Yeah, he's like, why do I care about this? Like, hey, you know what? I'm guilty of it too. Like, we will be having some Parts Avatar shirts signed by Nakai. But I feel like I've done so much coverage and so much like RWB stuff that, you know, like, he's seen me enough and he has like more repertoire with me. Yeah. That, you know, I can slide it. Like, at this point, like, when I see Nakai, I'm like, hey, can you sign this? He doesn't question it, right? Sometimes he's like, like when I go like randomly to him. Now at this point, he's just like, give me the marker. just give me the marker, right?
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, when I brought you all that stuff. So originally when I talked to you about getting some stuff signed. Yeah. The original plan was to bring maybe 2 or 3 things for you to get signed. I ended up walking in there with 5 things, I think.
Yeah.
And then I bought 2 more things from your shop.
Yeah.
And I got those signed as well. Plus I bought a carpet, which didn't get signed. I guess he forgot to sign it, which is fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
I'll keep that for myself then. It's cool. I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, I felt so bad because I'm like, shit. I'm like, at this point, like, is Nakai gonna get mad at him if I bring so much stuff to get signed? Like, I was actually for a second, like, I didn't know if you were gonna tell me to f off, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't ask you. Can I swear on this podcast, or is there no swearing?
No swearing. Let's keep
No
it
swearing.
PG-13.
PG. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I didn't know if you're gonna tell me to f off,
Yeah.
because I'm bringing you too much, right? But no, it worked out, and I got one of my shirts signed. So the shirt that I'm wearing now,
Yeah.
MS Road to a Cure, he signed that for me, which would be nice to do a giveaway for at the show. So I felt bad. Like, I brought everything I got signed from him was RWB stuff, like official
Yeah.
stuff, except for the shirt. And I didn't know how you'd react when I brought that shirt in. But apparently he had no problem with it and he did it. So I'm happy.
No.
Like, I'm not gonna...
I think the carpet was just missed because it was kind of folded, right?
Yeah.
It took up a lot of space on the table and it was just kind of missed because it was like, what is this folded item, right?
Well, you know what? If it's not signed, then I can't raffle it off and then I have to keep it.
Oh, there you go.
It's
You'll have a
okay.
nice
So
RWB
I'll take one for the
carpet.
team.
But no, like especially like in those private builds, it's more like he doesn't really question it. It's more intimate, right?
Yeah.
As you saw, right? Like it was quite private.
Oh, by the way, in case nobody heard, but when I came that day to see Nakai, he was working on 2 cars, not one, but
Yeah.
2, side by side. There's one in front of the other, a white one and a black one. He was working on both, and that was something to see. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and
Really
that
cool.
video is going to be dropping very soon.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yes. So
Awesome.
that video is going to be dropping soon. And funnily enough, I think we're doing the 3rd build he did on Ontario before we do the first 2 that he did. Yeah, it's just waiting for some
Nice.
additional content from some rollers and stuff, right,
Okay,
to get
yeah.
the first build done because we got the final car already rolling.
What was
and we
the
filmed
first
that.
one that they did?
So the first one was that it was a 964 or like 930 lookalike 964.
Okay.
It was the drop top. It was a convertible. Then he did the 964 as well. Just he did a coupe.
Okay.
A quite more modified one, and then he did another 964 a coupe automatic. It was the first automatic he did in Canada. And that interview is dropping very soon. That's an
Automatic.
interesting one. Yes. So actually tomorrow, it would be in the past that it's being dropped. So yeah, people will see that video ahead of this podcast
Ahead of this
actually
one.
too.
Yeah.
So if you missed it, I'd recommend going back. It was, we got some really good footage. And I love it. Like last year it was public builds and just the amount of people and the funniest thing is like kind of what you were saying, like you didn't want to piss off Nakai with him, like signing too much. Last year we had an issue of people getting pissed off that we didn't let them get something signed, right? Like they come for this public build and there's like an hour long line and we're like 30 minutes signing, that's it. And there's people at the back of the line, oh, why didn't he sign my stuff? I deserve it. It's like, what do you mean you deserve? What do you deserve, man? Like this is someone brought Nakai in to build and finish their car.
Yeah.
And this is an added benefit. This is like a little bonus. And you're going to go around and complain like, oh, he didn't sign my thing. Dude, like, let's be real. Go to Driven. Wait in that line. Everyone got their stuff signed. And just go ahead, right? That's kind of it, right?
I remember when he was here. So the last time he was here, I couldn't make it to that public build. I had to work, so I couldn't make it. But I had a friend that came, and I asked him when he was there to video call me.
Yeah.
All I wanted to see was Nakai there just working on the car, and I was happy. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. And I literally stayed on the phone with him for maybe 25 seconds just so I can see him working on it, and I was good enough for me. So like if I was in that line, just being in his presence, seeing him do his work his magic would have been enough. There's no reason to be like, oh man, come on, man, sell my stuff, man. Don't be like that. Like I don't get people like that, man. I really don't.
Oh, you know what? I think I'll end off this podcast, and I may have said this story before, so some people may have heard it. Last year at T1 Motorsports, I have a good repertoire, really, really good repertoire with RWB Canada. And at the end of T1, the owner of RWB Canada is like, hey, you're gonna I'm gonna do something special for you, right? So I'm standing outside of T1 in my Jetta, right? Just waiting there, and everyone's waiting for Nakai to come out, and I'm just standing in front of the shop, and some dude's like, "What is this piece of crap Jetta doing here? Like, tell this dude to move." Right, and someone else is like people are giving me weird looks. Nakai comes out, gets in the back of the Jetta,
No.
and this dude's like his jaw just drops, and it's like the
Wow.
same dude that was like saying, "What the heck is this piece of crap car doing
Wow.
here?" Right, and then I
That's
just
nuts.
drive off with Nakai in the back seat,
That's
and
crazy.
that relates to the second part of that same day, where I pulled up to Plaza in Scarborough, and I pull up and I air out, right, and. Yeah, I'll say this from my buddy's perspective, Joel. Shout out to you, Joel. Joel's going to be on this podcast soon. He's like, "Oh, yo, there's Alex, right? Hey, what's he doing in Scarborough?" And then Nakai gets out of the car and he's like, "What?" And then he comes up to me. He's like, "Bro, I just saw you pull up and I was excited to see you." And then I see Nakai get out of your car and I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And then I have that legendary picture with right beside Nakai.
Oh man.
And then I saved this. I didn't do this on our TikTok, on the Parts Avatar TikTok. I did a reel of my car or whatever, and some guys like, "Oh, no one cares about your POS, a Jetta, blah blah blah." And like I have it in my drafts, like just responses like, "Nakai didn't think it was a POS, right?" Like, and then like I think I was showing someone that, and they're like, "Dude, you should have posted it. That would have gone viral, right?"
You should have.
But I just didn't want to be like that guy, you know. But
Should
at
have been
this,
that guy,
I should
though.
have been that
You should have
guy.
been that guy.
Should have been that
Because
guy.
everybody that gets that opportunity to be that guy will be that guy. So I mean,
That's
why
true.
not play everyone's game and be that guy?
Yeah, but no, I was glad, and especially since you had a lot of stuff for charity, right? And like
Yeah.
you reached out to me, and it was for a good cause and a good idea and everything. That's why I said no problem. And honestly, if you like, maybe not to make you doubt yourself now, like if you brought a bit more things, I would have got them signed, no questions asked, right? It's for a good cause.
Listen,
right?
I will start small. Next time if he's in town, anytime soon. I mean, if it happens again, I will definitely bring a boatload of stuff for you to get signed by him.
Yeah, and that's not a problem. I'll get that done for you. It's
That's
going to a
awesome.
good cause. It's not like someone's just trying to flip stuff, other things like that. And there's a second perspective to it too, right? Because I always put it two ways, right? I get these opportunities to be there, and then sometimes my friends, like these private builds, my friends are like, "Oh, you didn't tell me, you didn't invite me, you didn't do this," and it's like my phone's two ways. Ellie gave me a shout, and he reached out. He asked for something, and I said, "No problem," right?
Yeah.
You didn't do the last minute thing. You messaged me a few days in advance. You're like, "Hey, if it's possible, do this, do that." And that's the proper way to do it. Not like, "Oh, you're there. Can you do this for me?" It's like, dude, if you reached out to me earlier and like, or people like last year, they saw me in Vancouver at the Richmond build. And one of my buddies is like, "Dude, I tried to get in. They wouldn't let me. And I didn't know you were there." It's like, do you bother to text me? Right?
Wow,
You saw, and it was funny because he saw my Snapchat story that I landed in Vancouver. And he didn't even reach out to like, "Hey, let's hang out," right?
until he needed something.
Until he needed something, and then afterwards, like he's like, "Oh, I didn't know." I'm like, I was in Van, bro. I was in your city. Didn't get an invite to go out for a beer or a pizza. So it goes two ways, right? You reach out to me, hey, and this firsthand. It's like you reach out to me, I'll give you the opportunity. But
you know what? Like I wasn't even expecting a reply from you. To be honest with you, right? Because like you hooked us up last year too, and
yeah,
like it hurt to even to have the thought of trying to message you and be like, "Hey, it's me again. Haven't talked to you in almost a year, but hey, can you grab this stuff and get a sign from me?" Like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to
Yeah.
be that guy, right? But
But you weren't that guy because you weren't last minute. You weren't like complete last second, anything like that. And
Yeah.
and you're very polite too, so it helps.
Appreciate
You're
that.
like
Thank you.
please if you can, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And
I think
it's
in the message I said something like, "If you can't, it's fine. It's okay. I just thought
Yeah.
I'd ask. It's cool." And you're like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, no problem." So
I was more worried about a last minute booth question because I had a few guys. I went away from vendor management, right? Don't do account management anymore, and
Yeah.
I had vendors like hit me up and say, "Oh, can you fit me in for the last minute booth?" And I'm like, "I don't do that anymore, bud.
Sure, yeah.
Sorry. Like I can get you the right contact, but week of the show is not the time to be asking for a booth, especially since like if you I don't know if you remember like we announce our date." I used to post then and be like, "You want your booths? You let me know now." And then I have people at the end, 2 weeks, a week before the show. dude, please fit me in. I want 10 cars. I want this. It's like, where were you when I posted about this, right? I'm the one also stressing to meet my quotas to fill the booths, right?
Yeah.
No one's reaching out. And then, so no, it was a pleasure. So
That's awesome.
especially,
Thank you.
it's for charity, other things. I've said this multiple times. So
Appreciate
I'll
that.
see what I can do to help you out a little bit more. Plus, I'll plan to have that weekend free to head on over and be at the show.
That would be great. So, I mean, one cool thing about our show is that we have the support of the Richmond Hill Mayor, Mayor of Vaughan, Mayor of Markham. So the Mayor of Richmond Hill has been at our show for the last 3 years. 3 years. I would say 3 years. Last year and the year before, actually, they awarded my wife a city award for all the charity work she does and stuff, and
That's
the
incredible.
difference she tries to make, which is really cool. But I can proudly say that we are the only car show in York region, if not other areas, that actually has the mayor come out in full support, and they're there with MPs, and they fully support our show and support our cause and what we do. We've worked really hard to get ties in with the mayors in that area and the cities in general. So anytime they hear anything about MS Road to a Cure, they're on board regardless of what it is, which is amazing. So I can proudly say we're the only show that has the mayor pop in, come out, and he's there for a good half day portion. Like he's there and he's enjoying the cars, he's enjoying the vibes and the people, which is really cool. So
a good cause, a good vibe, a good story, and everything, it'll bring out the mayor. It'll bring out good people to come support a good cause. And so it shows that when things are meant to be together, they are together, and they can create good and cool things.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah. So thank you so much, Ellie, for coming on the podcast.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. This was great.
It was
Fun.
fun to chat. Go through all our stories and go through your story, reminisce about old times and new times.
Yeah.
So. Like you said, August 31st, Bloomington Go Station.
Yep.
I'm going to do my best to be out there. Maybe Parts Avatar will do a booth or something like that.
That would be great.
To
would
come
be
out
awesome.
support a bit more, because we're all about charities, all about helping out. So maybe we'll help with those raffles or something like that.
That'd be great. Yeah, registration is open. If you guys want to register your car, feel free to go on msroadtoacure.ca and register your car. You can buy spectator tickets. You can even purchase a vendor spot as well. And then everything that... all the proceeds that come into the show go straight to the MS charity, which is great. And then that money goes to local people that need assistance with everyday care, with bills, finance, hospital bed, equipment, medicines. I mean, it goes towards all that stuff. So it's a really great cause, and 100% of it goes to who needs it. It doesn't go to anybody's pocket. It doesn't go line anybody's boat, making them rich. It's not like that. It's legitly a strictly volunteer-only charity, and all the proceeds go straight to the people that need it. So,
a good cause with a good result is what we aim for. So, Ellie, thank you so much, and it was a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Tune in for the next podcast and the next bit of videos. We'll have some RWB content. We'll have some other content, and maybe we'll get some car show coverage at the MS Road to a Cure car show. So,
absolutely.
And that's where we'll end it
great,
off. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Remember, Parts Avatar has got your back, so don't forget to subscribe to the Parts Avatar channel so you don't miss any of these exciting videos.